Hello there everyone, Shibby here. Hope everyone out there is doing well and seeing back once again with some more Pokemon trading card game pocket ranked matches. Today's video I feel like trying out this Rayquaza deck that I built and see if I can manage to win a game or two online with it. This deck is pretty simple in its composition. It just revolves around Manaphy, Rayquaza, and Palkia. I'll be straight up, I don't know if this is the best way to run Rayquaza, but this is just the way I'm going to try to do it. The whole, I guess, kind of like plan behind this is to get Manaphy out while we're boosting energy into Rayquaza and Palkia. You'll probably also notice that I've been running one of the Rayquaza EX and one normal Rayquaza, and this is to play around any Oricorio, so we have at least one basic in the deck that can actually do damage to it and we don't get stuck in that kind of hole. But yeah, I'll have the entire deck list in the description of the video below should you want to try this deck out for yourself or simply improve upon it. And I'll try to go into a little bit better of an explanation of why I built this deck this way once we actually get into some matches. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling, and let's go find our first game. Alrighty, looks like I found my first opponent here, and we have the good fortune of going second. I'll never complain about going second here. This is probably the worst hand I could have, though, unfortunately. We're starting out with Rayquaza, which is not at all what you want. And we have the type disadvantage on top of it. Well, this is not the greatest start in the world here, but we're going to have to try to do what we can. Now, I do have a Pokeball in hand, but unfortunately, it does take 2 energy to get Rayquaza out. And there's Oricorio. All right. This is why we run the basic Rayquaza that I don't have right now. But alright, we're going to put a Rocky Helmet on a Rayquaza to maybe deter this Pikachu from attacking here. I got really no choice but to put an energy into Rayquaza to boost it up. Unfortunately, I don't run a Leaf in this deck, which would probably come in handy. Maybe maybe I should have maybe put Leaf in here in lieu of the Rocky Helmets, but we're going to try this because it's too late now. Alright, well, we get a Manaphy on our bench, and we get another Manaphy on our bench, so we don't draw into our other Rayquaza, nor do we draw into Palkia. Though at this juncture, we probably just need the other Rayquaza, but that's all I can do right now, because I need 4 energy to attack, unfortunately. Now, the other way I've thought of running this deck is with Dialga, since it also has the boosting effect where you can attach 2 energy to one of your bench Pokemon. I don't know what would be more effective, is to do it this way or do it that way, or simply just play Rayquaza just a completely different way. Not really sure, but this we're going to try to figure it out as we go along here. But all right, we're going to oak it up here. There we go. There's our big boy. Now, I guess it'd probably be smarter to build this one up. Use this one up front as the meat shield. And we do have Irida to heal. Now, Misty doesn't do me any good here because Misty doesn't work on Rayquaza. Misty's really only here for Palkia. This would look a lot better if I started with Manaphy. But the draws were not on my side, unfortunately. Alright, they're not going to opt to attack me here. Alright, we're just going to quietly build up this Rayquaza in the back. And I'm not going to heal just yet. Now, I do wonder if they're running a Alolan Raichu or one of the other two. Because there's the standard Raichu, which is just does one, it's 140 damage. And you lose all your energy attached to it, and the one that can attack the bench. It's Alolan. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So we're going to get hit for 100 with the type disadvantage. 110. Exactly 110. Shit. Alright, well, I can't float Manaphy out here because it's going to get one-shotted. So we got to bring in this Rayquaza. Now, you can already see the big the big problem with this deck is that it takes a lot to get Rayquaza going. Alright, well, we have our Misty, though. So there could be potentially some light here. There is no light. Alright. Well then, in that case, I just killed my Rayquaza now that I just had a thought in my head. Alolan Raichu has the same effect as Alakazam, so all I've successfully done is made myself lose. I was not thinking when I attached the energy. Alright, well, not a strong starting with the Rayquaza deck here, but this is a good demonstration of what you don't want to happen. And that is start with Rayquaza and nothing else. Alright, well, we'll see if we can actually get some good draws in the future here. But good games to that opponent. I'll be back when I find my next match. Alrighty, looks like I found my next opponent here. And we're going first this time. So hopefully we can start with the Misty. Okay, we get Manaphy, so I'm not mad at that. 2 Pokeballs. So hopefully one is a Rayquaza and one is a Palkia. That would be the ideal world that I want to live in. Let me get a Misty. Alright, so that's good. And we're going up against an Incineroar deck, so we do have the type advantage. So this is, I didn't even really get to go into the game plan that last match because it just went off the rails so fast, but ideally, this is what you want. Either Palkia or Rayquaza building up on your bench while you have Manaphy in the starting position or active position while you're building up your Pokemon for huge damage. Now, no matter how you do this, it's going to be a long build. Misty can help accelerate things if you get lucky on coin tosses, but that would have to happen. All right, we do get 1 heads, so all right, we do have a little bit of a head start with Palkia here. And yeah, that's all we can do. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do. We have I run the Rocky Helmets to try to keep Manaphy safe, to kind of make it to where the opponent doesn't want to attack, to help us bide more time. But yeah, that's that's really just it's not really rocket science. This is just all I'm trying to do here. Have Manaphy up front while you're building your heavy hitters in the back. You're also running Charizard. I've seen a lot of people do this where they run Charizard and Incineroar in the same deck. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like you would brick more because most decks I see run 2 Charizards and 1 Incineroar, and that takes up a lot of space to attempt that. But what do I know? I'm not a I am not a proficient deck builder myself. But it must work if enough people do it. Right, let's get Manaphy out here. And this Manaphy is really only get 1 shot. 1 opportunity to seize everything it's ever wanted. Alright. But I do feel halfway decent about bringing Palkia in next turn unless they evolve. As we can take out the Litten. And it will actually KO itself if it attacks into Manaphy, because it will do 20 and plus the 10 to itself that it already does. But they're going to do it anyway. I think they just kind of cost themselves a little bit. Because now I can start swinging on this Charmander. Alright, well, let's bring the big boy here. And are they going to try to time me out? Oh, no, they returned. Okay, okay. Please put your Charmander in the active space, please. Alrighty, then. Alright, we get a Rocky Helmet. So we can continue to be a pain in the ass here. Alright, we'll play Misty. All I need is 1 here to end this duel, which means I won't get it. I can see the future. Alright, well, we get an energy into our Palkia. We swing. They have to take 50 damage here. And they can't attack or else they lose. They also can't really evolve here either, because if they evolve into Charizard, I one-shot them next turn before they could do anything because they'd have to waste a turn using Stoke. But alright, well, we managed to get a win on the board with the Rayquaza/Palkia deck. This is supposed to be more of a showing for Rayquaza, but I think Palkia is probably going to be doing the heavy lifting in this one. But luckily we had the type advantage in that one, so it kind of helped us out a whole lot. But yeah, good game to that opponent, and I'll be back when I find my next match. Alrighty, looks like I've found my next opponent here, and we do have the good fortune of going second once again. I'll gladly take that every day. Now we have 2 Manaphys, no Pokeballs, and 2 Misties. So not the ideal start, and we're going up against Decidueye. All right, well, we don't have anything, so we can't really get started quickly, unfortunately. Unless this next turn I get a Pokeball, Palkia, or Rayquaza. Hopefully the heart of the cards will net me something here. All right, they're doing Decidueye, Greninja. Interesting. It's a lot of stage 2s, those. I feel like that would... You'd break a lot more, but I'm breaking right now with not as much, so... All right, well, let's power up our Manaphy back here. That's all I can do. Now, thankfully, I do have both Misties in hand, so if I can survive for a little while, we can kind of accelerate. And they are running Grass and Water Energy. All right, so they've already drawn their Dartrix. All right, game's not giving me much here. All right, Oak, you gotta give me something here, bud. Just give me another Oak. All right, well, I guess got really no choice but to retreat here. Bring this Manaphy out to power this Manaphy up. All right, well, we have 4 other basics that are just buried at the bottom of the deck here, which is unfortunate. Running no evolutions, and I can't draw anything. Okay, well, hopefully I can get something here next turn. It's got to happen. All right, so do they have Decidueye or do they have Greninja? All right, well, they're going to pick off my Manaphy now, so that's a problem. And I'm going to lose this other one up front no matter what I do because of Greninja. Because I'm going to get hit by Dartrix for 30. Alright, so for the love of God and all that is holy. But I need... I still didn't fucking get anything. Okay. Well, I drew 2 Pokeballs, so now we're going to get something. Alright, well, there's Palkia. And what are we going to get with this one? Rayquaza. Alright, well, it took so long to unfortunately get anything that I don't know if there's much I can do, really. So, I have to sacrifice this Manaphy here. Now, the problem is with Pierce the Pain there, they can hit any Pokemon they choose. So if I get hit for 20 by Greninja, whoever it is, Rayquaza or Decidueye, or Rayquaza or Palkia, I'm going to get hit for 100. Because it doesn't have to be my active Pokemon, which sucks. Alright, well. Well, it doesn't really behoove me to... Alright, so what I gotta do here is that I've got to Misty on Palkia and hit 2. Which I managed to do. So I can take out Decidueye. Problem here is that Greninja... Well, actually, no, I can't. I forgot they have the cape on it. Well, never mind. This is all a moot point. Well, I can hit them and feel something, I guess. Well, under normal circumstances, I would have KO'd Decidueye, I think. Because never mind, it has 170 health. I wasn't paying attention to how much it had to begin with. Alright, so we were just screwed from the jump. It just took way too long to, unfortunately, draw to anything useful. Well, that was unfortunate. But, them's the breaks as I guess. But alright, well, hopefully in the next duel, we can have a little bit better luck and get back to 500 with this deck. But good games with that opponent. I'll be back when I find my next match. Alrighty, looks like I found my final opponent here. And we're going to have to go first. Which is not too bad, because we have Manaphy, Rayquaza, and Palkia. Alright. Well, I mean, I still can't act. But I can play Misty on turn 1 into our Palkia and hopefully get started fast. But we'll keep Manaphy out as our shield here to prevent any damage done to Palkia. But this is all presuming that our opponent plays. All right, what are we going up against? Lucario. All right. Now the question is, which Lucario? All right, so now we can actually build up a full bench. Hopefully this is Rayquaza. It's our other Palkia. Not the worst thing in the world. We got one Rayquaza on the bench anyhow. All right, let's Misty it up into the fancy Palkia. All right, what we get here? We do get a heads. We just get one. Everybody gets one. All right. So that'll be all I can do because it's turn 1. But we do have an oak in hand, so we can draw next turn, which is nice. At least we didn't come up completely empty on Misty. But they're going to Sabrina something in. What do I want to take the damage? I guess it'll have to be Palkia. Don't want it to be Palkia, but this is what we must do. But we did draw on Irida, so it's okay. Or Irida. I say that her name 150 different ways. Alright, well, we can make this a little saucy form to make him not want to attack Palkia. I mean, we KO him in 2 turns no matter what, but we can try to make it a little bit more wary. Unless they draw a Lucario right here, then it's kind of a moot point. Which they might already have it. They do. Alright, so we're going to get popped for 60 right here. Oh, they're running Garchomp. I haven't seen this deck in a long, long time. I forgot Garchomp was a thing. Alright, let me get our Rayquaza, but unfortunately we have no space for the lad. We're going to put energy into Palkia. And we're going to heal right here. And do I want to... Well, I healed, so never mind, I can't swap in the Geibel. Alright, now if Lucario hits me, they lose him. So that is a thing. I think what I'm going to do, we're going to play around this Rocky Helmet, actually. I'm going to Sabrina in something. And then when we use Dimensional Shift, it'll pop Lucario for 20 no matter what. So we don't actually have to worry about attacking into that Rocky Helmet. So we will get a 2-for-1 on this regardless. Now the question is, what are they thinking about? All right, it's my turn here. They know they couldn't attack. So we actually just win here. Because I'm going to Sabrina in the Geibel. And they conceded because they knew exactly what was getting ready to happen. Alright, well, we get to 2-2 with Palkia and Rayquaza, but, which is not bad, but honestly, Rayquaza didn't do anything. Palkia and Manaphy did all the heavy lifting, didn't really even get to see Rayquaza even be useful, which tells me that this probably needs to be run a better and more effective way. I might try this again at some point with Dialga, because that's the only thing at the top of my head that I can really think of how to maybe make this deck work a little bit better. I don't know how else really to get energy into Rayquaza, but if anyone knows and has made it this far, feel free to leave some suggestions on how to actually maybe properly run a Rayquaza deck, and I will give it a shot. But yeah, if you made it this far, I do thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you like it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.